So in the light of what's happening with the $2 billion courthouse lease, you need to understand something here. Massachusetts has an entire division of the Attorney General's office, and the sole responsibility of that, let's say, arm of the Attorney General's office is to prosecute potentially corrupt public officials. So let me ask you something. Do you want to guess how much they've actually prosecuted in 3 years? I was tagged in a video by Michael Walsh. I am going to watch this video with you and show you what he has to say, and then I will tell you my thoughts on what is going on here.
Hi all, it's Mike Walsh, and I'm running for Attorney General. I just wanted to chime in. You probably saw in the Boston Herald this afternoon that Governor Healy chimed in to defend the $2 billion courthouse deal that is benefiting the husband of Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley.
Reminder, Governor Healy also defended the Apple Green versus Global Partners deal. So the batting average is not good. The batting average is not good.
I had earlier made an argument that the Attorney General isn't enforcing the laws. Mike Urban had noted that some of this stuff was probably legal but didn't smell right. But one of the things I wanted to note is that the Attorney General really isn't enforcing the rules even when it is illegal. So, for example, we have a conflict of interest law. This law is very broad. It's been subject to several iterations since it was written. It prohibits stuff like using government money for your own personal benefit. It prohibits bribing people. It prohibits taking kickbacks. It prohibits public employees having a financial interest. Did you know that in the last 3 years, the Attorney General has only prosecuted approximately 64 cases, and that includes both the district court and the superior court, all under Chapter 268A, which has some amazing provisions that are really fundamental. Now, I don't know if enforcing these rules more heavily would have stopped things like the $2 billion courthouse deal or that issue with the Turnpike Plaza service contracts out on the Mass Pike. But the short answer is that unless we know that the rules are being applied, then all of a sudden we create two classes of people who are connected and can get away with stuff and people who can't.
He's right about that. He's right about that. That's one thing that we want to try to eliminate here. We don't want to set up this system where, political insiders are out here, grabbing all of these deals that are available and that are out for public bid. It's a problem because then what happens is these people are viewed as, again, what we called out before in our previous videos. It just doesn't look good. Whether or not it was a legitimate bid, whether or not it was an illegitimate bid, it still doesn't look good when the trend is where you have either political donors, political insiders, or politicians themselves that are winning state contracts. If they're winning government contracts, guess what's going to happen? The public is going to question it. That's why we brought it up in the first place.
And that is not tolerable. From the trial court's own statistics, its dashboard about the charges and what chapter they fall under, this video here should have several 6 screenshots to go with it to prove my assertion that in 3 years in office, the Attorney General has only managed to be able to prosecute 64. More importantly, her numbers are falling. There were none in the Superior Court in the last fiscal year. The Superior Court is where big crimes are prosecuted, where important cases are considered, where everything that we know, where we set rules and standards of conduct and everything like that. And yet there's no public corruption prosecution in the state. And the numbers are even worse under the Attorney General's predecessor, then Attorney General Maura Healey.
This is something that deserves some looking into. I'm going to give you some comments after this is done, but
if you want to stand up and see the laws enforced, please consider voting for change, because it's not going to happen unless you vote for it.
So here's the thing. When it comes to stuff like this is my main concern. My main concern here is that the Attorney General is the one that I would think. Now, Mike would know more about this than I would, and by all means, if you want to give some commentary on what I say, you can. But I think that the problem is the person that is supposed to be prosecuting most of the public corruption in Massachusetts is in doubt not Andrea Campbell. It's not Andrea Campbell. It's the Trump-appointed federal prosecutor, Leah Foley. That's what's happening here. So what Mike said here was that there's a law in Massachusetts for this specific thing. It's called Chapter 268A. I had a like flash on my screen on my previous video talking about this, and what it does is it covers conflict of interest, right? Whether, you know, somebody's getting a sweetheart deal, or, you know, they're getting money on the side, stuff like that, right? Or if they're taking gifts. That in theory, they shouldn't be doing this at all. And I'm not claiming that anybody is doing this, but that's why this Chapter 268 was created in the first place. And the Attorney General's office, they have what I was reading. It's called a Public Integrity Division. So to me, that is something like, you know, it's almost like ethics, right? That's what I think that this is. So to my understanding, the AG is not essentially missing the tools. She has the tools, but it seems like enforcing those tools and using those tools don't exist on the platform that they should. She's not enacting these things. And to me, and I would see if Mike agrees with me on this, to me, it seems like a lot of this, you know, a lot of these issues are getting sloughed off to Leah Foley, right? That's the way that it looks to me. Could I be wrong? Maybe, but I don't think so. Because right now, the only person prosecuting the majority of Massachusetts public corruption is, in doubt, Leah Foley, who again is a Trump-appointed interim U.S. attorney. So you think of the things like the Boston Public Schools, the bus bribery indictment, or the Department of Energy bribery case. There's multiple. Leah's job is to prosecute federal crimes, right? You figure trafficking, fentanyl, terrorism, immigration. That's what she does. If you're subscribed to her newsletter, I mean, every single day it's popping up with something else, right? So corruption is, without a doubt, I would think, within Leah Foley's purview. I think that is one of the things that she, let's say, can cover, okay? But I don't think that that should be one of her top priorities if the AG has a division that, you know, that perhaps she may share with Leah Foley as well. I think that the AG should be taking some of the load off of Leah Foley, and here's why. Imagine a world where we don't have Leah Foley. That's the problem. Imagine a world where there's not somebody like Leah Foley that is prosecuting these, let's say, Chapter 268 violations, right? Conflict of interest violations. That's the issue, okay? That is my issue with this. Think about what it actually means for a state like ours. It means that the accountability that we have today could be gone tomorrow. It's effectively a borrowed accountability, because if Leah Foley is no longer in office, guess what's going to happen? If we get some kind of nitwit in there that doesn't want to prosecute these things, we sure as hell know that Andrea Campbell's not going to do it. So who the hell is going to do it? That's the reason I wanted to make this video, because we would be in trouble, right? We would be in trouble if we didn't have Leah Foley. I mean, the same thing played out in Minnesota. The same thing will play out in California. The same thing plays out in Illinois, and more than likely the same exact thing will play out in New York, where you have this, like, let's just call it, for sake of argument here, you have like this elite ring of politicians, and whether or not they're benefiting from this, I don't think anybody knows for certain. Okay, you could speculate, right? But the fact remains, these people just don't want to prosecute any of their political insiders. They don't want to call things out like they see it. And I mean, it seems like the same exact thing is happening inside of Massachusetts as well. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this. If we lose Leah Foley, we're screwed. That's pretty much it for today's video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.